Check, check. Can you guys hear me in the back? Can you hear me? Welcome to Las Vegas, everybody. How you doing? Woo! I'm excited. We have a lot of exciting things going on. There's blackjack. There's Russian roulette. Well, maybe not Russian roulette. There's roulette. A lot of exciting things going on. As you guys already know, we got new technology coming out, which is also exciting. That's going to be great to take back with us. For the consultants, tomorrow morning, we're going to demo that at 8:30. But today is going to be about how to operate our office to its fullest potential. It's about maximizing what we have, our skills, our talents, and making the most of what we can do each and every day. We got some great professional speakers that are here with us. But first, I want to say thank you to Greg and Debbie that put this on for us. So if you guys will please. And second, obviously, I'd like to thank you guys, because if it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. I remember it was like 5 years ago. We were in a small La Quinta Inn hotel in Vancouver, and we had 27 people. And now we have about 127 people. And that's because of you guys. That's because of the hard work and dedication that you guys put towards your craft. So round of applause for yourself. Thank you guys for all that you do for us. And we promise to deliver. I'd like to introduce our first speaker. He has been doing business and owned businesses for many years. He took a company from zero to $50 million. And he does sales trainings all across the world. He's given close to 1,000 different speaking engagements and trainings across the entire world. Just got back from Japan not too long ago. And so he has a lot of great content for you guys. I'm really excited for you. So a couple rules. If you got a cell phone, put it on silent or turn it off. You don't want to be the person, cell phone's going off and they're giving a presentation. So make sure you put that off. A couple rules of engagement: be open to learn new things. The most expensive thing that you have is a closed mind. So come with an open mind. Take notes as if you're going to teach it. Because when you actually engage in writing this stuff down, it's going to lock it into your memory even better, and you're going to get more out of it. So take notes like you're going to teach it, and have some fun. So without further ado, I want to introduce Christoff Merrill. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take a deep breath with me. Who in here has it? Are you sure? Are you sure you have it? We are in Vegas. Remember, what happens here stays here. The problem is most of it does actually come home with you. So in this room, how many of you have it? I'm not believing it. Just doesn't sound. How many of you have what it takes to be successful? Oh, I'm still not buying it. Even on the front row, we get a delayed, like, whatever. So I'm going to ask it one more time. I'm really only going to give you one more time. One more chance. How many of you have what it takes to be successful? Yeah. Come on. We get a delay like, ugh. I know it's early. I know it's early. The fun part is, how many chances do you get to be here right now at this moment? How many chances? One. So if you're going to be here and you only get one shot, is there any reason not to go all in? No. So I will give you a second chance. I normally don't. I might walk past that if you're okay. How many of you have what it takes to go all in for success? Let me hear it. Come on. That's close. That's super, super close. The good news is I'm going to give you an opportunity at the end to really bring it. Is that fair? Oh, come on. Is that fair? All right, so I have something that I always do, which is I demand a response. See, I don't live life kind of out in the fringes. I don't live life halfway. If I commit to something, I'm all in. This morning, I'm all in for you. So I am going to demand that you give me the same. Fair enough? Yes. Fair enough? Yes. There you go. So my wife always lays out my outfits for me. Because if not, I would wear the same ratty t-shirt, the same jeans, and flip-flops, no matter what I do. The problem is, because she lays out my clothes, there are a lot of times I'm really concerned she's mad at me. Like, are you sure that goes with that? Because it's hard to know. How many of you have a hard time dressing yourself? Come on, picking out what goes with what? Ladies, come on. I have seen my wife in her closet for 45 minutes picking out the exact same outfit she ended up wearing the very first time. Okay, that one, that one, that one. I simply ask, sweetie, just go all in. Just pick one outfit and wear it 100%. Just that confident woman. How many confident women do I have in here? I guess. How many confident women do I have in here? Come on. All right, they did pretty good. Men, can you outdo them? Of course. Wow, you're throwing down. How many confident men do I have in here? 50-50. 50-50. So, yeah, right? You guys are doing good. About 5 years ago, my sweetheart 100% tricked me. I mean, she hoodwinked me better than anybody has ever hoodwinked me, because I like to do this with my kids. I like to have fun with my kids. We play jokes. We have fun. One Saturday morning, me and my son, I have 4 kids, an amazing wife. Man, I married way out of my pay grade for sure. Way out. So me and my son are down watching TV, and a triathlon comes out. Has anybody ever seen a triathlon? Right? You guys do triathlons? Oh, you. Anybody in here actually, do a triathlon or has ever done one? Has anybody ever thought of a triathlon? Not actually doing it, but actually, who knows what a triathlon is? All right, there we go. Who now has heard the word triathlon 3 times? So a triathlon is basically this. You have, help me out if you know what it is. Don't steal my thunder. All right, what is this? Swim. I have a saying. Do you want to know my favorite saying? Do you want to know my favorite saying? Yes. How you do anything is how you do everything. How you are in this room right now at this moment is how you are in your career, is how you are in your life, is how you are in your relationships, is how you are in your health. You're on the fence. You're not all in. Let's be all in. How many of you want to be all in this morning? Come on. All right, so play along with me. Anybody willing to play along with me? All right, turn to your neighbor, give him a high five, and say, I'm all in. Come on. If not, I'll give it to you. There we go. I'm all in. All right, you got it. So the first thing in a triathlon is you're going to swim, then you're going to bike, and the last one, any guesses? You're going to run. That's a rum. That's what you need after you're done. So my wife, my son and I are down watching a triathlon, and we're watching the swim. And I was a competitive swimmer a long time ago. So I'm watching, and I'm very intrigued, and my wife kind of sneaks in. And she goes, wow, that looks fun. Yeah, that does look fun, sweetie. So a couple minutes later, we're down to the bike, and all of a sudden, wow, that looks tough. No, it doesn't. You're just riding a bike. A long way. We get to the run, and all of a sudden, she sneaks in, and she goes, wow, I doubt you could ever do that. And immediately, I respond with, oh yeah, you want to see me? Wait, I just committed to a triathlon. So I found the shortest one. It's called a sprint. Not that you have to go that fast, but it's really, really short. So I had now committed to do a triathlon. It was in 6 months. I figured, I got this. I used to be a competitive swimmer. I can run. I can bike. So I waited until a week before to buy the fanciest running shoes. Man, I went and got Nikes. They had like a heel like this, a whole bunch of air cushion. They were a little snug. And I was like, these are going to be the lightest, the best shoes you could ever get. My best friend was getting a divorce, unfortunately. So he sold me his carbon fiber bike for $1. That's a whole other story. So I have this the thing was basically brand new, and it was as light as a pencil. So I've got a bike. He let me borrow his shoes, those special shoes that clip in. Man, those were awesome. I didn't try them on until the day of. So I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready to be all in because I had already committed to do it. So we get down. First time, I pulled out that old bucket. How many of you guys have an old bucket of all your favorite stuff from high school? Anybody got one? Yeah? I had one, and I had my Speedo in it. Oh, yeah, we're going to go swimming. I only got it on half a leg. I said, time for a new swimsuit. So I went down, and I bought one of those really, really long ones. I looked good. I felt a little self-conscious. At that point, I weighed 285 pounds. You see, my wife and I had 4 kids. And every time she had a baby, I felt obligated. If at 3 o'clock in the morning she wanted a corn dog with chili and ice cream and she would mix it, I felt like I had to do that for her just to support her. So every time we had a baby, I felt obligated to put on a tad bit of weight, or more than a tad. She lost it very quickly on some of the babies. Some of the other ones that kind of hung on. I never really lost any because I got in the habit of really liking chili cheese corn dogs with ice cream. So this was her goal. Let's see if he can actually do it. So race day comes. Man, I am pumped up. The thing started at the butt crack of dawn at like 5 a.m. I'm down there at like 5:30. You go register at a desk, and I walk up to the desk, and they write your age on your calf, right? You know what they do. So they write your age on your calf, and I'm like, man, I look good. Those calves they had a lot of room to write that down. So I get to the part where you're kind of negotiating your spot on the swim. Because obviously they have guys that just finished high school that look like horses. They're in the very, very front. Then you have the opposite of that. So I get up to the little booth, and the sweetheart says, well, where do you think you should be in that line? We have 1 through 4. I'm like, well, I was really fast in high school, so I should be a 1. So she writes a 1 on my hand, and I walk all the way to the front of the line. And those guys were huge and built. The muscles on those guys, I was super jealous. So I kind of slowly walked back over to the desk and said, hey, there is absolutely no way I'm in group number 1. And she looked at me and she says, I know. I knew you would be back. That's why I wrote it big enough that I could finish off the 4. So all of a sudden, my pride, oh gosh, 4, I looked over and I was like, 4? That guy has an inner tube. There's no way this is my group. So anyway, I get over to my group, and we're all kind of standing around going like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we signed up for this. it becomes my point. You wear an ankle bracelet. And right as you get up to the swim, you kind of touch it on this little pad, and it makes a noise. And that's when the race is started for you. The gentleman in front of me, I will use the word flopped. He kind of fell off the deck and immediately kind of looked like he was drowning, trying to get to the other end of it was in a swimming pool. So it looked like he was trying to drown. So I figured, okay, I can't do that. So I dove in like I did in high school, and it felt like I was swimming in icebergs. I mean, I had to go around and through, and one guy went over, and I get to the end of the swim, and here was the thing. This was in Utah in March. Imagine getting out of a swimming pool, which was heated, and you had to run, I'm going to say as long as this room is, in your swimming suit, wet, to get to your clothes to get on your bicycle. Man, that was the fastest sprint I have ever done in my entire life. I get to my bike, you dry off, you put on your bike clothes, and I put on my shoes. And all of a sudden, I had a problem. I had absolutely no idea how to get that shoe into the pedal. Absolutely no idea. Plus, the seat was too high. And I had no idea how to get the seat down. These are fancy bikes. When I grew up, we had like BMX bikes. So I'm concerned, I'm confused, I'm staring at it for probably a good 5 minutes, trying to, mechanically figure out, okay, well, maybe if I get on the bike, maybe I have to stand as I ride. I couldn't figure out how it was going to work. A sweet older man walked over and he goes, "Hey, do you need some help?" Oh my gosh, I totally do. He goes, "Well, the first thing is you need to lower your seat." I'm like, obviously. So we lowered the seat, and he walked off. And I had to go chase him. I'm like, whoa. You're a woman. Whoa. Can you help me again? He walked back over. He says, "Absolutely. I don't know how to get the shoes in the pedal." And so he got me up on the bike, was in a bike rack, and he kind of just clicked my foot, right? I mean, it was like that easy. And off I go. And I'm riding, and I'll tell you, I'm going to peacock a little bit if that's okay. Have my tail go out. I felt like I was going so fast. Oh, man, I was smoking. And you're going up this hill, and all of a sudden I hear like a bell. Ring! That sounds like a kid bike. Ring! Wait a minute, there's no way. And all of a sudden, whew, right past me goes a woman on a bike that has 73 written on her calf. What? Wait a minute. I got so there's no way. There is absolutely no way that I'm going to let her beat me on this bike ride. Absolutely no way. So as we're going up that hill, I'm burning out. But there's no way, absolutely no way. I am chasing her down. And when I get to the finish line, I'm rubbing it in her face. "Oh, yeah, you thought you were going for the pass? I got you." I never caught her. She went so fast. I mean, I tried to catch. Now, the problem is, when I got to the finish line, so the finish for the bike is the same place you picked up the bike. I tried, as soon as I got there, I started slowing down, because, man, I was smoking. No, I wasn't. And I got to the part where you're supposed to get your shoes out of the bike. I tried everything. The last option was literally to take off my shoe on the bike. I was afraid that would physically hurt. So I didn't. So you have a bike rack. I slowed down and just hopped over the bump and stopped. And noticed that there was nothing I could do. The same little gentleman comes over. He goes, "Looks like you might need a little bit more help there, pal." Yes. Humiliated. What kind of guy does a triathlon that has no idea how to get on or off his bike? So I get off my bike, take the bike shoes off, and I put my brand new running shoes on. They were sparkling clean because I'd never worn them before. And I take one step, and every single muscle in my entire leg cramps. Because what I didn't know was on that bike with the clip-in pedals, you actually pull up. Like when you're pulling the pedal up. So I had never actually used that muscle on the bottom of my leg before. So I pulled up and then push over and pull up and push over. So every single step just hurt so bad. So I get up to the beeper and I completely stop. And at that moment, I decided I was done. And I was going to go home and I was going to accept the truth that my wife is always right. Always. And she was going to rub it in my face. And it was going to be humiliating. I was going to have to tell my kids that I didn't finish. Because that was my only goal. I was not focused on winning, even though inside I actually thought I had a chance. My whole goal was simply to finish. So I'm standing there, and a sweet woman looks at me, and she says, "This is the last part. Go." No. Go. This is the last part. Go. So I beep that anklet. And I take probably in my life the worst 300 steps I've ever taken. Every single muscle just hurt. But all of a sudden it started to feel less worse. It still hurt like, woo! But it all of a sudden didn't feel as bad. So I started to actually almost walk normal. And as I started to walk, I started to feel a little bit better. And I started to feel a little bit better. About a little ways after I had walked what seemed like forever, there was a little table with the best sugar juice I've ever had. I think it was 100% high fructose corn syrup added with another gallon of high fructose corn syrup. Oh, it tasted so good. So I stopped. And I actually, as people ran by, I started handing them one. Keep going, you got this. And the woman next to me, she looks at me, a nice sweet volunteer, she goes, I can't believe you finished already and you chose to come back and help. That is so nice. I looked at her with bewilderment. I haven't finished. She says, do you realize that the finish line is maybe like 1,000 feet around that corner? What? Wait, there is no way. She says, the finish line's right over there. You just can't see it. So I downed probably 10 of those sugar drinks. I need enough energy to actually finish. So I make my way. So it finished in, how many of you remember the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, Utah? Come on. How many of you have ever heard of the Olympics? Come on, make some noise. Okay. I realized 2002 was really far away. It was in the Olympic Oval is where you actually finished. And so you entered the building and you had that 150-yard dash to the end. Now, the night before the race, my wife wanted to rub it in that there was no way I was going to finish and that she was going to get an enormously huge life insurance policy check. She thought I was going to die. She told me, 10 times. She says, you're going to have to quit because you're going to die. You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to end up in an ambulance. You're going to die here. I said, no, I'm not. I'm going to finish. So we had gone on the route. We drove on the route. We looked at the swimming pool, and I counted how many laps I was going to have to do. Then we drove the bike route, and then we drove the run route. And she goes, okay, let's be serious. How long do you think it's going to take you to finish this? And I said, 6 hours. So all of a sudden, I get to that part where it's now my family's turn. It is now the time to show off. I mean, I can't walk that last 150 yards. I have to sprint. I have to be like, I told you I was going to finish. I told you. And so I get in right to the door of the building, and I start running. Not sprinting. I couldn't do it. My legs hurt too bad. But I start running, and I'm looking left. There's a whole bunch of bleachers. I don't see them. I look right, a whole bunch. I look left, nobody. Look right. Where the heck is everybody? I get to the finish line. And a sweet old woman comes up and puts her arm right through mine, and she walks me over to this tent. And they literally tapped the vein and started running juice down my body. Apparently, I looked that bad. And then she starts feeding me these wonderful cookies and more of that like titanium sugar juice. Oh, it's so good. I still remember how good it was. Oh. And I probably sat there, I don't know, forever, 45 minutes, and finally they take me off the IV, and me sit in a little thing, they have me stand up, see if I'm woozy, have me sit down, have more juice, stand up, sit down, probably did that for 10 minutes. Then all of a sudden, I'm finally like, I'm good. I gotta go, tell my wife that I finished this. So I walk out. I had my cell phone in my truck. So I had to walk out, go to my truck, get the cell phone, pick it up. I call her. Hey, where are you guys at? Hey, sweetie, we're just leaving the house. Oh, man, what do you mean just leaving the house? Dude, it's only been 3 hours. What? That's awesome! I finished, I don't know math-wise. How far is that? Someone help me out. If I finished at 3 hours and I told her it was 6, is that half the time? Are your guys' brains on? Just checking. I finished in half the time. Oh, I was so proud. Ooh, yes. But wait a minute. That was after I had sat in that tent for almost an hour. So I walk back in there, struggling big time. I walk up to the little tent where they have all the names and numbers and how fast you went. And I give them my little badge, my bib number, and I say, hey, this is my bib number. And the guy looks it up and he goes, yeah, we had to flag you. What do you mean you had to flag me? He goes, there's a problem with your swim time. The beep beeper must have malfunctioned on your swim time. I'm like, what do you mean it must have malfunctioned on the swim time? That was horrendous. He says, you were the 5th fastest swim time, and you went almost last. That's not possible. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, it is. You bet. I can't wait to rub that in my wife's face. I had the 5th fastest swim time. Whether it malfunctioned or not, we never got to that point. So I went out to my truck, load up the bike. I almost wanted to throw it away. That thing was of the devil. And I drive home. They never made it. They never once saw me cross that finish line. They never once got to hear me complain in the truck the entire way home about how I almost died. And I get home, and my kids are so excited, and they run up, Dad, how was it? It was easy. That was cake. So right then and there, my wife, knowing my peacock, knowing that I got my feathers all out, and I'm kind of strutting around the house as slow as humanly possible, she goes, oh yeah, when's your next one? I says, I don't think there will be a next one. You see, that experience taught me 3 things. So on your little sheets or on your computer, I want you to write down 3 things. In order to actually finish something that was impossible, I had no idea I could finish. I, deep down inside, thought I was going to have a heart attack. I thought there was going to be some form of complication. I thought I was going to wreck on the bike or trip on a rock, something, and not be able to finish. So I did not have the tools. Write down the tools. What are some tools you guys have in your business that helps you excel? These conferences. Some of you are thinking right now, maybe not. What's a tool that you use in your position? Years of education. You stole the second one. Good job. You need the knowledge. Write down the knowledge. It's close. You'll write it better than I will. The knowledge. At that moment when I was doing the triathlon, I did not have the knowledge. I did not know how to clip the pedals in. I did not know how to clip the pedals out. I did not know how to lower the seat. You're like actually attentive. Either you are totally like just zoned out or you're actually just right here with me. What is something that you must know in order to do your position to the best of your ability?
You gotta at least go around. You gotta go through it.
Okay?
You have to paint the picture for yourself, so you gotta give yourself at least one attempt to see how it's all gonna go so you can play out the risk.
Okay, I like that. So you actually have to do it one time. How many of you in this room have done your position more than one time? Worst energy I've ever heard. Come on, how many of you have ever done your position more than one time? Let me hear it, come on. Yeah. There you go. Really? Me and you? Come on. I know, right? I was staring right at you. Here we go, me and you. Me and you.
Okay.
Have you done your position more than one time?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, is that the best you can do? Is that all in?
All in.
That was all in. Then give him a round of applause. Come on. There you go. See, here's the thing. I'm in the front, and I can see to the 300th row. I got you. I'm looking. I'm watching. See, earlier I'd asked you if you were willing to play all in. I'm going to call you on it. Are you playing all in right now?
Yes.
Some of you, yes. That guy fell asleep. No, he didn't. He just took a long blink. You've got to have the right tools. Say this with me. The tools. Say it again. Say it a tad louder. Then you have to have what? Without the knowledge, what do you have? A bag of tools. It's like having a whole bag of hammers and really not knowing what to do with it. Yes? Yes. So you've got to have the tools. You've got to have the knowledge. Because if you don't have the knowledge, that's part of the knowledge, right? Being able to motivate, we'll get to that in a minute. Without the knowledge, like you said, without actually going through it one time, did you succeed on your very first time, or did you tank miserably? Oh, all right. I succeeded. Woo! Have you ever failed, though? Yes. Raise your hand if you've ever failed. Oh, you don't have to blurt it out. I mean, I wasn't, I mean, you got some managers in here. Hey, what? They're going to call you out. That's not good. That's not the way that this works. So, I mean, I'm trying to help out here, okay? I mean, I don't want anybody getting let go after I speak. Hey, this was really great having you at the conference. Get your stuff and get out. I heard you failed. Right? So every single one of you in this room, let's do it again. How many of you have ever failed? Don't make a noise. Don't call yourself out. Come on. No, keep it up. Keep it up. Look around the room. There shouldn't be anybody else that doesn't have their hand up other than those that have kind of tuned me out, which is okay. This is either for you or it's not. And guess what? I don't care what you think. It doesn't matter to me. I'm here for you. See, my whole goal, I always have one goal. One. For every event that I speak at. I've spoken at this is actually 987. 987 events. That means 987 groups have suffered through this. Oh, poor them. But in reality, wait a minute. ADHD just kicked in. Oh, where was I? 987 before that. No. One goal. There we go. Thanks. Do you know why I did that? To make sure you were listening. Because if you couldn't remember that, we have all sorts of problems. So one goal, my only goal for this morning. I think we're going for what? 6 hours? Is that what we're going for? Some of you just some of you were like, yes! No, we won't go 6 hours. We'll be close. One goal was for each and every one of you to get one nugget. How many nuggets? One. Put a finger up and say one. That's it. I'm not here to give you 50. You can't remember 50. You can't do 50. We always get so caught up in the how many we have to do. So the last thing is you have to have the tools. What do you have to have? Tools. Then you have to have knowledge. And the last one is power. Yeah. You have to have the motivation. Say that with me. The motivation. Now, who can motivate you? Am I motivating you right now? No! I'm pumping you up. I can't motivate you. Because guess what? You're sitting here, you're taking notes, or you're not. But when you go home, Jared, when does this end? Like the conference? Wednesday. When you go back to wherever it is that you're from on Thursday, I'm not going to be with you. It's you. This is all on you. I can pump you up, I can get you excited or put you to sleep, but on Thursday when you go back to where you are, it's not me, it's all you. And you're either all in or you're all out. Get off the fence. There's no point in being on the fence. How many of you guys are in sales? Yeah. Man, I bet you guys are crushing your quotas. How many of you guys are in sales? Okay. How many of you guys are in leadership? How many of you guys are in administrative role? Right? How you do everything is how you do anything is how you do everything. How you show up in your life at this conference, here's what I think. You get out of life what you put into it. If you kind of go into it like, this conference is, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. At least there's Vegas and gambling. Then that's what you're going to get out of it. A lame conference and broke. Look around, man. They do not build this by giving away all the money. I tell people when I have friends and family come into town and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get down there. I'm going to play roulette. I'm going to do blackjack. I have been Googling the best pattern of blackjack. I'm going to rock it. And I said, dude, don't do that. Just call the casino and say, hey, I'd like to make a direct deposit for half of the money I was going to lose. And then spend the other half on awesome restaurants. Go out to a show. That's my personal opinion. If you might want to do otherwise, that's cool. Can I tell you a story where I actually did gamble? Is that to be a total hypocrite? My wife and I, every year on our anniversary, which is May 18th. Yes, I did remember that. May 18th. We try to, go to a different show or a different casino, a different restaurant. 2 years ago, we were actually here. We went to the restaurant at the top of the middle of the Eiffel Tower. And on the way down, we always take, if it were my wife, we'd take $1. If it were my way, we'd put $100 on 18 on the roulette wheel and let it spin. We were here. Went over to the ATM. They charge you like $10 to get $10. So I'm like, I can't get $10 out. That's just ridiculous. That's a horrible rate. So I'm like, I better get like $100. So I get $100. I get over to my wife and I, sweetheart, we get over to the roulette wheel, and all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, what do you think we should do? She's like, I think $10. So I put $60 out. And they spin it. There are two Asian gentlemen sitting at the table that must have been playing for 2 years. And all of a sudden, the one guy's like, oh, let's go with them. Let's go with them. Let's do this. Let's do this. And the other guy's like, no, that's a terrible bet. Bing, 18. $60. My wife is like, yes, we are going shopping. Woo! Thank you. Thank you. You see, sometimes it's luck. But you know how we've been married for this year will be 17 years. We've only won once. One time out of 17 years. That's horrible odds. That's because you're gambling. Are you guys gambling on your success? Does that work out for you? No? How about your relationships? Right? So, the tools, the knowledge, the motivation. How many of you guys set 2018 New Year's resolutions? Put a hand up. Come on. You know you did it. Everyone in this room did it. I'm not asking if you actually have already quit. I'm asking how many of you, right before 2017 ended, you're like, you know what, I want to do this in 2018. How many of you at least thought about it? Right?
Lose the 30 pounds.
Well, there you go. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Right? Just because I'm going to carry that, I'm down to 2010, or 210. 2010. I'm at 2010 and feeling great. You see, the interesting thing is it took me 42 years to put it all on. It wasn't one big meal. It wasn't the buffet. It was one teeny bite at a time. So I cannot, as a goal, expect to take off 50 pounds by my birthday, which is June 9th. It's not realistic. That motivation is impossible. You want to know why? Because it's debilitating. Sometimes if you make your goals so high, you already know you're not going to do it. It's almost like, oh, well, you know what? I probably should, but I'm not. If you're going to make a goal, here's what I recommend that you do. And I'm going to ask you to write down and make a goal in a moment. Some of you overachievers are going to look down and start feeling it out like that guy. He's like, what? What? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, don't write it out right now. He's like, I'm making a goal. He asked me to do something. I'm going to do it. Woo! I just missed all the instructions. I know. You're an overachiever. I got it. I like that about you. I want you to make a goal that you can accomplish by Thursday. Guess what? You're going to be here till Thursday, right? Wednesday, but you're not really going to be there till Thursday. I want you to write down right now. Wait, I'll say go. I know, right? I'm testing you, especially you. I got you. He's like, sorry, I did it again. I'm going to want you to write down a goal that you can realistically and 100% without a doubt accomplish by when? I didn't sound very excited. By when? Come on. Write the goal down. That means you actually have to use your pencil on the paper or keys on the keyboard. Can you run me a water, please? Thank you. She knows who's coming. Is somebody absolutely... Can I give some ideas out? You're thinking way too hard, dude. Way too hard. You're making this process way too hard. This has got to be on you, because if it were me, I'd be like, after the last week I had, one of these days by Thursday, get at least 10 hours of sleep between now and Thursday. I leave tomorrow for New York. Sleep is something that I will do when I'm dead. I'm good with that. Life is worth living, yes or yes? All right, who's finished with their goal? Ooh, right there with the beard, my man. White shirt, beard, looking snazzy. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Work out every day. On Thursday or from now until Thursday? Now till Thursday. Did you work out this morning? Ooh. Right over there. Yeah, don't look at her, you. She's like, it's you. Say it. To calm down. Are you like nervous? Are you jittery? Are you excited? You stress. Take a breath with me. Not everyone, just her. I mean, if you want to breathe, that's up to you. I'm just, we're having a moment here. Here we go. So I have a saying which my kids absolutely hate. It is what it is. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do. So can I tell you a funny story? Do you guys like stories? Yes. Okay. So my son who is 13. Oh, thank you so much. My son who is 13. Just ponder that for 1 second. Does this story have a point? No. I just like telling stories about my kids. So my son is 13 years old, and his feet are as big as mine, and his legs are hairier than mine ever will be. He's very self-conscious about it. He wears like really high, special socks that have like, superheroes on it or whatever. He's 13. And so the other night when I was gone, he asked his mom, "Hey, Mom, can I have a razor?" Oh, you know what's coming next, right? So he goes into the bathroom, and all of a sudden, about 45 minutes later, you hear him to my wife say, "Hey, Mom, can you bring me a towel that you don't care about anymore?" And how do you get, how do I stop the blood? So she goes in there, and ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You know that, shin. Oh, my gosh, he had, scalped himself. And it was about this long. And so I get home, and my first thought is, how did you not notice that about this far in? He said, "I thought it was supposed to feel that way." Did he have the right tool? Yeah, he had a razor. Did he have the right motivation? For him, right? No judgment. He was very self-conscious about it. He was very motivated. I don't know, maybe wanted to look sexy for the ladies. I don't know. Aerodynamic. He is a scooter rider. Maybe that was it. Get an extra millimeter or whatever on his scooter because, But what was he lacking? He was lacking the knowledge. He didn't have it. How important is this? How important is this? How important is this? How important is this? Is there one on that list that doesn't matter? No. So I want you to write down right now which one you're lacking right now. Are you personally lacking the tools to do your very best? It can be in your career, it can be in sales, it can be in your business, it can be in your relationships, it can be in your health. It doesn't matter what area it is. This applies to everything. Is there something on that list that you personally are lacking right now? If you're not, you're lying to yourself. Now, I'm not going to ask you to share, because some of you might get a little bit, well, I don't want to talk about that. But I am going to ask you to share with yourself. See, the thing is this. How many of you love hanging around liars? You love hanging around liars? Cool. All right. I'm okay with that. How many of you love hanging around people that are so negative that you feel like crap when you're done? I thought you were going to go for it. She's like, "Oh, yeah, let's see what he does if I say yes. Let's see what he's got up for that." Mr. Motivator Speaker. Look, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not. I tell crowds all around the world I'm not a motivational speaker. I am an aggravational speaker. My goal is to aggravate you. Right? There's a wonderful story about Les Brown. Well, not about Les Brown. That would be funny. That Les Brown tells, which is a man comes walking down the street, and all of a sudden, from a distance, he hears a dog howling. "Oh!" As he gets closer, it gets louder. "Oh!" He gets up to the gate, and he sees the dog laying there, just howling. Howl with me. "Oh!" Those aren't dogs. That was like scary ghosts. Come on, howl with me. "Oh!" And the gentleman decides to walk up to the porch where an older gentleman was sitting. And he was just at peace. So maybe this will help you. He was just at peace. He was just relaxing. He was just having fun. And his dog is just howling. Help me howl. Woo! This side, good job. Where'd you guys go? Howl with me, just this side. Come on. Me and you, come on. You like hanging around liars. Oh, that's good. She said there are no liars here. So you were lying that you like liars? Okay, that's fine. All right, howl with me. Come on, me and you. On the spot, just you now because you're hesitating. Howl. Howl! Come on.
I sing. I cannot.
Okay, then sing it. Oh, give her a round of applause. That was good. That was good. Way better than mine. So this dog is just howling and howling. So the gentleman walks up and says, hey, mister, what is wrong with your dog? He says he's sitting on a nail. And the guy's like, well, why doesn't he move? Because it don't hurt enough. Think about your motivation. Think about what you're lacking, whether it's tools, knowledge, motivation. Does it hurt enough? Am I hurting you enough? If I am kind of whatever works for you, am I giving you enough to actually get out of your own way and do something about your life? How many right now, oh, sorry, did I make you mad? Okay. How many of you right now are 100% ecstatic with where you are at in your life right now? Okay, a couple of you. Yeah, I love it. I am, because it is what it is. It is what it is. My son is like still, he's got like this monster Band-Aid. It looks like a sock on his shin. He's like, Dad, what do I do? Nothing. It is what it is. You can't change it. You can put a Band-Aid on it. You can put 40 gallons of Neosporin on it, which he did last night on the couch. Well, Dad, I was watching TV. I was going to multitask. Yeah, you just ruined that cushion. Thanks, dude. It is what it is. If you go out on you guys don't, does anybody go out on a sales call, or do they come to you? They come to you. Great. So somebody walks in the door. Somebody walks in, and are they excited? Are they nervous? What's typically their motivation? I was going to say that, but yeah, they can't hear. Is that pretty high motivation to come into your business? Right? See, I did some research, and I found that you guys probably should charge more for your service and your products. Now, some of you are like, what? Like, we have a lot of kickback on how much we charge or whatever, right? All of your excuses, we'll get to that in a minute. If all of a sudden you were not able to hear, what would you pay to hear again? Anything. But a lot of us kind of have this like emotional baggage that we come up because someone told us no. Oh my gosh, that's too expensive. Or insurance doesn't cover all of it, so I can't do it, or whatever. And we kind of back off because maybe we don't have the right motivation. How many of you want to help those that come in to your business? Right? No, maybe, thinking about it. How many of you want to help those that come into your business? Come on, let me hear you. Right? Do you guys have the right motivation? Yes, you do. There is no stronger motivation than to help someone else. No stronger. Do you get paid for it? Yes, because you also have motivation to support your family or yourself or your loved ones. There's nothing wrong with having motivation to make money, is there? No, absolutely not. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel, guilty about it. Whenever I'm at an event and I'm talking, and afterwards I'll get people that'll come up to me and they'll be like, oh, I did not like how you talked about money. Money is not important. I simply respond with, and you're broke, right? Because if money isn't important to you, you're broke. Money's important. Money does lots of awesome things. Look at Bill Gates. Super, I can't throw enough supers in there. Is Bill Gates super rich? Oh, yeah. And does he do a lot of good? Oh, my gosh. His Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he's giving it all away. Oh, my gosh. That is wanting to help, yes? Is that not any different? It's on a different scale. The dollar amounts are different, but isn't the motivation exactly the same? Yeah. So I want you to look at that goal that you wrote down. That goal that you want to do by Thursday. And I want you to answer this question. Is that serving yourself or others? Write it down. It's either one or the other. It's either one or the other, because you're pushing a percentage. It's either 51%. There's not a 50. I don't believe you're on the fence. If you're on the fence, then you're going to die. It's like Humpty Dumpty. At some point, you're going to fall off the fence and you're going to shatter, and the king's men are not going to be able to put you back together again. I don't believe in being on the fence. Either you're either all in, or get out. How many of you agree? Where is that energy? Yep. Kind of. How you do anything is how you do everything. How many of you want to live your life all in? Let me hear it. Come on. I think you can do better. Can you do better? Yeah, you can do better, right? So how many of you are all in? That was great. That was like an 8. I'm going for 10 by the end of the 6 hours. I wish I had you guys for 6 hours. She's like, oh my gosh, no, that's like a triathlon. Yes, it is. And I will sprint the whole thing in this room. Out of this room on a real bike, not making that mistake again. So, everybody, who? Everybody. You know what? Let's go back to goals real quick. Can anybody tell me what happened on May 25th, 1961? I do because I Googled it. Anybody else? May 25th. What happened on May? No, is it your birthday? That doesn't count. It's yours? Dude!
67.
Yes! That's awesome. Perfect. That worked out so well. That like never happens. I love it. So, May 25th, 1961, President J.F. Kennedy said one massive goal. Anybody know what it was? By the end of the decade, there were only 9 years left. We are going to put a man on the moon. And when did it happen? It was 69. Anybody know the date? July 20th. If I had like something to give you, I would give you. But all I can give him is a humongous round of applause. Come on, help me. Is that a goal? Oh my gosh. If you were to equate, now we're not going to get into the whole politics of debt and whatever. If you were to put it in today's dollars, it would have cost $140 billion to do that. But is that not something that still inspires people? Oh my gosh. My kids walk out. I have 4 kids. A boy who's 13, a girl who is 11, a girl who is 9, and a girl who is 5. They are the best part of my whole world. They are the reason I do this. We're out camping, far, far from Vegas, city lights non-existent, and we're looking up at a full moon. And my 9-year-old says, Dad, has anybody ever been there? Yes. That's awesome. See, to her, all of a sudden, that is no longer just impossible, it is possible. So now I want you to go back to your goal by Thursday. Is that realistic? Is that realistic?
Yes.
Is that realistic? Yes. Okay? Is it achievable or attainable, right? Is it memorable? Okay? Can I call you out because you're like, yeah, I like this guy. I'll get you the $100 later, okay? What's your goal?
By Thursday.
Yep, by Thursday.
More prayer.
More prayer. Is that an okay goal? Yeah, that's a totally okay goal. Because it doesn't matter what the goal is. The goal is your goal. And if each and every one of you make a goal, can you do that? Can you hit that goal? Absolutely. Okay, what happens when you make a goal and you actually do it? What happens inside? Does your chest kind of raise up, dudes? I don't know what ladies do. I'm not a lady, right? Yeah, your peacock goes out. Woo! I just made my goal. Does that little step does that give you the inertia? Does that propel you to the next step? That little success, right? So now I want you to write a goal that you are going to hit by Friday of next week. Write it down. By Friday of next week, and this one must be in your business. Now, if you are in an administrative role, you're going to have some fun coming up with one. So I want you to think about it. I'll give you maybe 30 seconds, because I need a drink. Maybe 30 seconds to write down something that you're going to do in your business by next Friday. All right. Does anyone want to share? Do I have any volunteers? Or should I just randomly pick you? And I'll pick you. Perfect. Thank you.
I'm going to make a sale. My first unadulterated sale.
Give him a huge round of applause. Awesome. Is that huge? Yes. Is that a big deal? Yes. Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome. Anybody else? This side. If you're looking down, I'll pick you. Because I know you don't want to be picked. Or looking away. Right there. Yep. Not you two. Black shirt or blouse or whatever. I don't know what it is. Sweater. Sorry. What's your goal? Your goal is to make 3 sales. Now, are they any different? No, because they're individual, right? Does her having 3 and you having 1 matter to you? Does it matter to you that he only wants to have 1? No, it doesn't matter because they're exactly the same. They are yours. See, a lot of times we as individuals compare ourselves to others, yes or yes? All the time. All the time. We compare ourselves to everybody else, or our wives tell us about other people we should be like. Those of you, you know. The goal does not matter because the goal is specific to you. However, I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to challenge you. Make the goal bigger. Do it right now. Write it down. Make the goal bigger. Everyone can do it too. Make the goal bigger. Make the goal bigger. Now, I want to ask you, what just came up mentally for you?
Doubling the numbers.
Okay, yeah. But what came up mentally? Did that kind of be like, oh my gosh, like I haven't even made 1 sale and he wants me to make 2? What came up? Be honest.
That thought process right there.
There you go, right? Does that come up for a lot of us? Right? What came up for you? I'm not going to ask the goal. I just want to know what kind of that first thought that we're in, like, oh, make it bigger. Whatever. What came up for you? Right? Make it bigger. Here's the thing. Oop, did you want to share? You bet.
The fear of failure.
Ah, yeah.
Set a goal.
Uh-huh.
So you're pretty sure it's achievable.
Fear.
But it's the fear, like, what if I don't do that? What if I don't make that?
Uh-huh.
I go on the opposite end of that momentum, and I find myself in, like, how am I going to bring myself back up to where I'm at? So I don't know if other people struggle with that, but that's something that
How many people in this room struggle with fear? Okay, of spiders. I'm trying to get everybody. How many of you have a fear of any kind? Come on. Every hand should go up. Seriously, no fears, dude? What if I cut that hair? He's like, whatever. But deep inside, he's like, please don't. I got it. You're rocking it. I love it. Every single one of us is in a race. We just don't realize we're in a race. The race could be having an awesome relationship with our loved ones. That's a race, because you got to start, yes? And you have a goal as to, oh my gosh, I want this. Does it matter what this is, the end goal? No. Maybe you want to have a date night once a week with your spouse. Maybe you want to make them feel more important than they already are. Maybe you want to have a better relationship with your kids. Maybe you want to spend more time with that parent of yours. Or whatever it is. Every one of us is in a race, some form or another. The problem is, go ahead and write this down. Right? Align, start, align, finish, give them some space. Every single one of us is going to hit this line. Now, in running, they call it the wall. I call it the UCL. Write down UCL straight down so you can write to the side what that means. UCL. Universal Challenge Line. The universe is going to challenge you on your way to your goal, yes or yes? Every single time. You want to lose weight? It's going to hit you with putting on that first outfit to get to the gym. So, shortly after I did the triathlon, my wife noticed that, hey, he said he was going to finish, he's going to finish. So she goes, I challenge you to go to the gym. One time this week. I can do that. I just finished a triathlon. But guess what happened the morning I said I was going to get up to go to the gym? Oh my gosh. I felt so uncomfortable because, see, what my wife did was she bought me the skin-tight spandex shirt for the size she wanted me to be, not the size I was. So I put that thing on and whoa. Boy, was I uncomfortable. So I finally, after about 45 minutes of hitting the snooze button, I didn't want to go to the gym. I was so uncomfortable. I was so self-conscious. I was so everything. I hadn't been to the gym in a long time. I hate the gym. Hate it. Or did. So I got up, finally, because she kind of gave me a kick in the side. And I got up, and I went in, and I put on my outfit, is what I will call it. And I begrudgingly walked out to my truck. And I got in my truck, and I drove to the gym. I sat in the parking lot. Mission accomplished, and I drove home about 10 minutes later. I went to the gym. I never said I would work out. I never said I would go in. I simply said, now that's like a play on words, I got it, but yeah, I accomplished, check that box, right? Because what came up for me as I went to the gym? That universal challenge line. Every single time. Those thoughts that you had, those thoughts that we all have about fear, about self-worth, about whatever, that is your universal challenge line. That's this block. The problem is, every single one, how do you guys start anything? With gusto, right? You're like, you know what? I got this. This is a new month. I'm going to tackle this tiger. I'm going for it. Yeah! And you get really excited, and you literally like blast off. Yes? Yes? The problem is then all of a sudden we kind of start to sputter. Yes or yes? You kind of, okay, I'm still going, but man, I'm getting tired. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever it is, we kind of, because we went so dang fast in the beginning that we start to sputter. And then all of a sudden, we get to this point here. If I could make that any bigger, I would, without ruining it. We get to that universal challenge line, and all of a sudden, every single one of those thoughts, most of us, it's fear. Fear of failure, fear of success. Do you realize a lot of people have fear of success? They're afraid of what will happen to them if they become successful, because then all of a sudden, like you said, I think that's actually yours, is they'll do, I don't know, I'm just going to make up a number, cool. They'll do 10 sales, and then the next month they'll do 5. Wait a minute, I did, and then they'll kick themselves for 2 months, and then the following month they'll only do 6, because mentally they pictured themselves as 10. Okay, well, if I do 10, then I got to do 11, then I got to do 15, that right there is fear of success. That universal challenge line, I can guarantee you, challenges every single one of us. It challenges me in lots of ways. Challenges you in lots of ways. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Right? So you have to do what to get past this spot? What do you have to have? Motivation. No. What do you have to have? All right, everybody's shouting out. One at a time. I can't hear. Somebody on this side said one thing. Discomfort. That's part of it. You're going to have it, but no. I'm not going to say that one out loud, but thanks for participating. You got to have a plan to get there. No. Grit. Kind of. You're on the cusp. Discipline. Those are, what? Courage. Write down courage. Is breaking through that wall a little scary? Is breaking through that wall a little scary? Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Each and every single one of us. Is it scary for you? Admit it. Right? Yes? Absolutely. I love the hat and the sparkles. Man, you're rocking Vegas. Is it scary? Yes. For each and every one of us, it's scary. But you have to have courage, because without courage, you don't march on. Yes or yes? So I recently watched the movie. I love movies. I'm going to get it wrong now because I just totally said I just watched it. 12 Strong. Oh my gosh. So do we have any military in the room? Let's give them like a huge round of applause. Wow. So in order to march, or in that case, ride horses, into basically a position where you might not survive, do you think that takes courage? Oh my gosh, to a level that I respect like no other. Wow. Wow, that's courage. Do you have that same level of courage in your business? Do you have that same courage, that level of courage in your relationships? Do you have that same, now you don't have to answer, but ask yourself, if you don't, can you get it? Yeah? How? Little goals! Little teeny goals, right? Saying, I'm going to pray every single day by Thursday. Guess what? That's a goal for him, yes? If he accomplishes that goal, does that give him the power to be able to do the next one, which may be a little bigger, yes? To be able to do 3 sales, right? Is that totally possible for you? Absolutely. I believe in you. You believe in you. Totally. Is 1 sale possible for you? You bet. I believe in you. You believe in you. See, back to my story about liars. I don't mean to, I was just pointing in the general direction. She's going to, Do you guys hang around liars all the time? Do you guys hang around people that like talk crap about others all the time? Do you guys hang around people that have like bad attitudes? Yeah, you do. You sleep with one every night. It's you. If a friend, a relationship, a business partner talked to you the way that you talk to you, you'd fire them, yes? You'd stop hanging out with them. You'd break up, whatever. But yet you do it every single time you get in the car, right? Every single time. Complain, blame, shame, whatever. I'm not good enough. I got fear, blah, 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 blah. Let that sink in for a minute. How you do anything is how you do what? Everything. Exactly. That was pathetic. How you do anything is how you do what? Oh, about a 5. How you do anything is how you do. Now, I want you to be honest. How did that feel? Did that feel good? Some of you know. Because you're not like, yeah, woo! Am I acting crazy up here? Am I acting crazy up here? No, I'm acting like myself. Because I don't care what you think, right? It doesn't matter to me what you, oh my gosh, that guy's like bouncing all over the stage, right? He's like, I don't want to hold your coffee. He's like pounding on the, I don't care. Because this is me. How I do anything is how I do what? Does that feel good? I hope so. Because that is what it's going to take to get past this. You have to have a ton, how much? Of energy to get through that universal challenge line. Otherwise, what is going to happen to you? Bong! You're going to hit it and you're going to retreat. How many of you have ever given up on anything? How many of you have ever given up? Never in your entire life. Okay. If you say you've never given up, then you're lying to yourself. Be honest with yourself. The best thing you can do in your entire life is self-awareness. I am not good at spelling, but I kick butt at math. Absolutely kick butt. Nobody's going to tell me that was a button the whole time? I mean, okay, just checking. Every single one of us have given up on something. And unless you admit that you are not perfect at everything, then guess what? How can you get better? Can you get better if you don't admit that you're not good at something? Now, here's the thing. Do you want to get better at it? Yes. Liars. I do not want to get better at spelling. I don't care. It's not, at this point in my life, it's kind of too late. Could I invest the time to get better at spelling? Yes, but my kids think it's so funny. Awesome, let them have the funny. My dad can't spell. They tell kids, we had a parent-teacher conference, and one of my kids, the teacher was like, and Mr. Merrill, we need to talk about something. I'm like, sweet, third grade teacher going to give me a lecture? This is going to be fun. Will you give me one more? Water? Thank you. She says, I'm kind of concerned about your spelling. Why? I'm not in your class. She says, because I'm afraid that your daughter will pick it up. Then that's your problem. Is she misspelling any words? She said, no, but she learns by example. I says, well, then do a better job as a teacher. I'm not in the class every day. I mean, if you're the one in class writing down words wrong, then whose problem is that? Hers, not mine. Now, when we get home, guess what? When I write out words that are wrong, she corrects me. She understands what it takes to do it right. Do you understand what it takes to do it right? And are you willing to have the courage to do it? How many of you are willing to break through that universal challenge line? Let me hear it. Come on. Yes. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that was like enough. How you do anything is how you do what? Everything. Right? How you show up in this room this morning on the first day of your conference is how you show up when you get home on Thursday. It is, and you know it. I've trained tens of thousands of sales members. It's the exact same. Every one of them has exactly the same thing, right? So, what is fear? Don't give me the anonym or whatever it's called, the anagram or whatever. What is fear? What is it actually called? I'm curious. Acronym, thank you. See, I don't know that either.
What's inside of our head that limits us?
No. Now look, I want to be really fair. I'm super biased. You want to know why? Because I'm the one giving the motivational, aggravational speech, right? So that's a good idea, but no. It might be good for you, but no, I'm in control, man, the mic. Okay, what is fear? What is fear? Anybody? Now I told him no, and everyone's like, I'm no way, not doing it. Fear is the anticipation of pain. Fear is the anticipation of pain. Do me a favor, everybody, right now, raise your hand tomorrow. You can't do it. Fear is something that is anticipated in the future. You can't raise your hand tomorrow. You cannot control what happens tomorrow. You can simply control what happens right now. Yes or yes? Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm in control right now. You bet. Are you guys going to tell each other? Come on. You do realize you're on the front row. So it's super, he's like, man, I should have got here earlier. Each and every one of you is in control of nobody but yourself. How many leaders do I have in the room? Can you motivate your salespeople? No, I don't believe so. Can you motivate them to motivate themselves? Yes. Absolutely, because who ultimately is in control of their actions? Them. You can't control their actions. You can simply control the information that you put in. Here, let me show you this. I was not going to do this, but I think you guys deserve a little extra. You guys deserve a little extra? Yes. Okay, never mind. You were there with me, but it was like 10 people, so we're good. You guys want a little extra? Yes. We pushed it to 8.5. Whoa. Whoa, I'm literally I got butterflies from that one. Whoa. All right. Who in here has had a thought? I am concerned about you that didn't raise your hand. That was a lot of you. Okay. Thoughts lead to what? Feelings, right? Thoughts lead to feelings. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to action. You bet. And action leads to what? Results. But I don't believe that. You see, thoughts do lead to feelings, totally. If you don't feel like you're good at sales, what are your feelings about sales? How many sales calls are you going to make? How many follow-ups are you going to make? How many, are you going to be front row waiting for someone you can help to come in your business? Or are you going to kind of be busy with crap? Right? Well, I don't really necessarily, maybe, I don't know. Hey, maybe I'll talk to them okay, fine, they're here, they're staring at me. Thoughts lead to feelings. Who's ever had a bad experience? Right? Every single one of us have had a bad experience in your life. Did that completely stop you from trying again? Did that completely stop you from trying again? No. Do you guys realize that when you were a baby, that you fell down, on average, they studied this, some nerds decided to study this, that the average baby falls down 317 times a day. On average, 317 times. Do they get up every time? Most. I've seen my kids just lay on the floor and cry. How many of us, after a failure, just lay on the floor and cry? I have, totally. My very third speech, because I only had one. My very third speech, I absolutely rocked it. But I felt like I didn't. All of the attendees, except the people that hated me, came up after and oh my gosh, that was so awesome. The people that didn't like it, they left. But I got out to the car, to my truck. If you can't tell, I like trucks. We have motorcycles and stuff. Does way better. I couldn't put that in a hatchback. So I got out to my truck, and man, can I move this chair? Will it mess anything up? Okay. So I get out to my truck, and I kind of just, oh my gosh, that was horrible. I cannot believe that I said that joke. That was that bombed. Oh, I mean, only like everyone laughed at it, but it just didn't feel like it landed. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what? This isn't for me. That was speech 3. I wanted to give up. I got to the Universal Challenge line, which is now flipped over, and I decided, you know what? I'm okay. Maybe I should go back to starting a business. Maybe I should do something else. How many of you ever felt that way after you've helped a client? Maybe I could have done more. Maybe I should have done more. Maybe I didn't provide the right product. Maybe I didn't present it in the right way. Is this really how many of you, okay, managers in the room? How many, owners, leadership do I have in the room? Okay, you cannot hold the next question against anybody. Fair? How many of you have tried in your business and wanted to quit? We got a couple managers. I love it. Right? Because is business hard? No. It doesn't have to be. See, it all goes back to habits. If you have the habit of going to the gym, if you do it, who did say the gym? Right there, right? How often do you go to the gym? Never. You don't. It's been a year and you decided to go this morning? Give him like a huge round of applause. Whoa. Dude, is that not impressive? There's no way if I was coming to a conference I would decide to work out that morning. No way. No way. That is awesome. Awesome. Is it going to be hard tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, right? Okay. So it's going to be hard tomorrow. What about Wednesday? Harder. Let me just tell you. What about Thursday? Harder. Friday. Help me. No, Friday will actually be a little easier because he won't run as far. Do you run?
No.
Weights, exercise? A little bit of everything. Okay. About day 4, on average, what we do is we lighten up. We don't go super out. We don't decide, you know what, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to go for it. We realize that going for it causes pain. So we back off. And we do just enough. Well, I said I was going to go to the gym. I never said that I was going to be like Turbo Man and do every machine in the building. I simply said I was going to go. Now, is he still hitting his goal? I don't mean to call you out. I don't know you. I hope this doesn't happen on Friday, okay? Just, right? I'm not putting it out there, but I'm just saying it. So, how many of us pull back after it gets a little hard because we went so fast, right? Oh my gosh, every single one of us. We do that in sales, we do that in relationships, right? I was at an event, I don't know, 6-7 weeks ago, and a woman came up to me. And at that event, we talked about going all in on relationships. And I think I'm average at that. Sometimes, I kick myself because I don't feel like I'm a good enough dad, or I'm not a great spouse, or whatever. Same crap, right? Same Universal Challenge line. I got it too. Trust me. I got it all over the place. And she came up to me and she says, I stopped dating 6 years ago because I decided it just wasn't for me. So my question was, well, what do you want? She says, I so desperately want a spouse. Okay. Aren't those two diametrically opposites? I'm not really going out there, putting myself at risk, having courage, but yet this is what I really, really want. How does that apply to your business? How does that apply to your life? Are you doing those hard things? Are you doing the things that you have to do? Look, I don't love everything about what I do, but I love everything about what I do. I hate paperwork. I hate filling out contracts. I hate doing all that kind of stuff. But guess what? I love it because that means I get to speak to another audience. I get to speak more. I get to do what I love to do. So do I have to do it? Yes. So it is what it is, so I might as well start to love it. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Your energy kind of went down there a little bit. Did you feel it? Yeah, you felt it. I felt it big time. Because you're a mirror to me. Hopefully, if I go to level 12, you can get to 10. If I go to 15, I want to push you to 11. When you go home and you're in the mirror, think of what you're projecting. Because that's what you're doing to yourself. So, after you do something, we're going to go back to, what is your name, my friend? Kirk. K-I-R-K? Okay. I might call you Kurt, because, sorry. Okay, you know, all right. So Kurt. So Kirk is going to work out. And it's going to get hard, yes or yes? And he's going to want to quit, yes or yes? But if he pushes through that universal challenge line and keeps going and creates a what? A habit. Now, is it going to be hard to create a habit? Oh, yeah. And what do you have to do every single day to reinforce that habit? You have to do it over and 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 over. Does the habit ever become easier? Yes. Does the action ever become easier? No. You might get in shape, but every single morning that mind is going to come up with, you know what, I'm at a conference. This is like the worst time to be able to start, like, you know, working out. Oh, never mind, I'm going to hit snooze. We all have that same concept. We all have that same inner desire. So I think that you have thoughts that lead to feelings, that lead to action, which gives you a result. Yes or yes? Does this always work? Yes! Every single time. And you want to know how I know? Because you're here. You see, at some point, one or two of your parents had a thought, which led to some feelings, which gave an action, and ta-da, you're here. Every single time. However, there is something very important that needs to go before this. That I stands for influence. If you didn't think that it was important to have kids, then guess what? Are you going to have thoughts that lead to having kids? No. If you don't think it's important, or you don't have any influencers, someone to influence you, that it's important to do marketing, sales, follow-ups, go on a date with your wife, go to the gym. If you don't have any influencers, these thoughts are going to be negative about that particular action. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? So what are your feelings going to be about that particular action? Negative. Heartbeat. No way. I don't want to do that. I don't like that. How many of you have ever gone to, do we have any used car salesmen in the room that have ever done used cars? Okay, awesome. Yeah, right? Traditionally, do we have a good thought about used car salesmen? No. No offense. All right? Good. Good. Way to be confident. We mentally have a negative opinion. So you know you got to get a new car, yes or yes? And I hate dealerships. By the time you get out there, it's like 5 times more than the car was. So we go and we get something used. New to us. That's what I like to call it. It's new to us. And immediately our thoughts are what? Negative. So our feelings are negative. So what do we anticipate? We feel like we're going to get screwed. It's going to be a lemon. It's going to be a piece of junk, whatever. But yet most of us do it anyway, right? Anybody ever bought a used car? Anybody ever seen a used car? This influence, plus our thoughts, plus our feelings, leads us to an action which gives us a result, but that influence gives us 100 times. Are there individuals in this room, well, I know that there's at least one, who is the number one rep? What do you guys call yourselves? Business owners, sales reps, Consultants. Thank you. Is there someone in this room that is the number one out of the entire company consultant? Yes or yes? Okay, you don't have to identify who you are. You probably know who you are, and that's awesome. Does their success rob you of your own? No. But yet, don't we think it does sometimes? How many of you have ever seen like a really fancy car on the road and you're like, jerk? Right? Geez, show off. Guess what? Their success does not rob you from your success, but we think it does. We think that their success robs us of our own, when in reality, their success has nothing to do with yours. You are the one that has to do with your success. Because how you do anything is how you do what? Oh, we're back to a 5. Come on. You guys were at like 8, 7, 5 the last time, maybe even 9. How you do anything is how you do everything. Yes. Did your energy just come back up? Yes. So where's your feelings now? Your feelings came up. So your actions are much, 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 much bigger. Yes or yes? Yes. You bet. Imagine if you took this one thing, energy, and you went back on Thursday and you put it back into your business. Do you think you'd do better?
Yes, absolutely.
I was. See, here's the thing. We get into habit. You know what? Everyone raise your hand. Go ahead, raise your hand. Oh my gosh, that is so fun. I love doing that. See, what most people do is most people raise their hand to the point that others raise their hand. Some of them go higher and then realize, oh my gosh, I'm the highest, and they get self-conscious and they lower it back down to where everybody is. Because most of us don't like to stand out. Do you want to stand out in your business? Do you want to next year take over the number 1 spot? Yes or yes? Yes. Then what do you have to do? You got to be energy. You've got to be able to maintain your energy, not through the whole sales day, but through the rest of your life. You've got to raise your energy everywhere. In your health, in your relationships, spirituality, emotions, you name it, you've got to raise your energy. Because if you can't raise your energy, see, here. Write this down. All right. This is what? You can say it out loud. Level 10. Or, here we go. We're going to go 3 times, and each time I want you to raise it up. I want you to get to 10. Here we go. One more. The biggest one. Now, what's the most important word on this thing? Come on, what's the most important thing? No! Or. You want to know why? Because you either have one or the other. If you have a whole bunch of reasons, it's because you didn't get the result. If you have the result, you don't need any reasons. Or. Pick one. Do you want to go back on Thursday and have a whole bunch of reasons why you didn't do what you said you were going to do? Look at your thing as to what you said you were going to do by Thursday. Are you going to go back on Thursday and go, oh, well, I got bored, or it was too hard, or I made it too big, or a whole bag of reasons that you carry around with you like a trash can? And every once in a while, when it gets hard or you don't like it, what do? You reach into the trash can and you pull out fear. Or you reach into the trash can and you pull out, I'm tired. Or you reach into the trash can and you pull out, you know what you pull out. Because I asked you, when you wrote down that goal, and I asked you to write it down bigger, what went on here? That's your trash bag. That's that limiting belief. That is that universal challenge line that almost every single time when you are faced with a huge goal, that's the thought that you have. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid. It's not going to work. I can't do it. If you can admit to yourself right there that that's what it is, that is probably, because are there anomalies in every scenario? Of course. But if you can get over that one, how many? One. Oh, look at your energy. Every single time your energy goes down, what am I going to do to you? I'm going to aggravate you. I'm going to aggravate you to the point where you're like, will this guy just shut up? I want to go back to being normal. And that's cool, that's your choice. Totally cool, that's your choice. So, you guys want one last story? Okay. So, my 9-year-old daughter started cheerleading at 7. She was on one of those little pre-comp teams. Yay, they just had pom-poms, and I don't know what they did. It was boring. And I'm there. I'm showing up 100%. It wasn't really exciting. It was just, literally like 3 hours because her team said that you have to support all the other teams. So we were at these cheerleading conferences for 7 hours. I was dying because she went on for maybe 3 minutes. Woo, pom-pom, and I'm dying. So she's 8. She bumps up 1 notch. Sweet. She's so pumped. Now they're doing routines. Now they're doing this. They're doing movements. They got music. They got all this fun stuff. All right. Then this year, she is now on I don't want to say professional, but she's on a competition team this year. And it's a big deal to her. She's 9. And she's what is called a flyer. So they chuck her. And I mean chuck her. So they just probably about 3 months ago had their very first competition. And at that competition, one of the gals that was a flyer, for whatever reason, wasn't caught and fell on the ground. Oh my gosh, this was it's called the South Point. It's like a horse corral arena. That's where they do the National Professional Rodeo, but they, filled the whole thing in with like little, gymnastic tramps and stuff, but they had like lights and sound and fog and everything. I almost went deaf. It was awesome. And this girl falls and the whole place went silent. And every single person's heart was like, oh my gosh, this is like their first competition. They have worked so hard. They started in March for this competition. That was in November. Everyone's heart was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh, Grace. They finished it. That little girl basically ran off of the stage, but went to the corner. She stayed on the mat because she knew if she crossed that line on the mat, the team would be disqualified. So she stayed on, I'm going to cry. So she stayed on the mat, and all of a sudden, they get done. We waited out, and they didn't get anything. Nothing. They didn't get an award. I am not a believer of getting every single person like a medal. It's a joke. They didn't get a medal. I'm walking out. My wife had left earlier, lucky dog, and I'm walking out, and I kind of put my arm around Grace. I'm like, how you doing, sweetie? She goes, Dad, I'm doing fantastic. What? That's what I said in my head. I obviously wouldn't say that to my daughter. I said, how are you doing fantastic? She says, Dad, our team rocked it. And I'm thinking in my head, sweetie, did you see what happened to your team? Like, no offense, sweetie, but I know that you were like rocking it and you were up there and, she did some kind of kick where she grabbed her leg like a scorpion, like back. It looked like it would break. And I'm like, sweetie, what do you mean? She goes, Dad, we did what we did as an entire team. We supported each other no matter what, and we finished. So I encourage each and every one of you to reflect. Are you a good team member to yourself and to those that you work with? And this is your last chance. This is it. This is level 10 or go home. And I do mean, Jared, I'm going to tell them to go home if they don't get it, okay? Right? Literally, if you can't get this one, then you need to go home. How many of you are ready to be all in the rest of your life? Come on! Yeah! That did it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christoff. All right, guys, well, we got about a 10-minute break. We got some snacks and drinks and use restroom, and then we'll get back at it in about 10 minutes, all right?